With his verdict on the final leaders debate, I'm joined again by Dr. Paul Baines. So Paul, who came out on top last night?
Well, I think it was a clear win for Cameron, according to two of the polls indicated that that Cameron was on top. That's YouGov for The Sun and Comrades for ITV News. Populace had them neck and neck. So, but I think most people would agree that that Cameron came out on top. But this debate, according to our own data from the Mesh Election Experience Monitor, indicates that actually the TV debate is now not persuading. It's persuading as many people to vote as it's not persuading people to vote. In other words, its overall net persuasiveness is zero. So people have started to most people have started to make up their minds. So this third debate is much less influential than the first two debates have been. Interestingly enough, though, a survey from Ipsos Mori in the marginals indicates that actually something like 40%, around 45 to 50% of voters have still got to make up their mind as to who to vote for. So it seems that even at this late stage, Andrew, it's still all to play for.
How do you think Gordon Brown's gaff in Rochdale will play out on the Labour vote?
He's certainly got a lot of negative experience, and his key aides, Alan Johnson and others, were certainly trying to put the best on it and make it look as if this is the sort of thing that all humans do, and to some extent that's true. Our own data from the Mesh Election Experience Monitor indicates that actually that had a particularly negative effect on women in particular, who did see him as two-faced and as showing his true colours. Those were the comments that our floating voters gave us. But there was also a little bit of sympathy for him too. However, I think what it will have done, and this seems to have fed through in terms of the TV news and the radio news, those channels are now starting to become very much less persuasive, in fact negatively persuasive. And what that indicates, I think, is that Brown's gaff will probably depress the Labour vote, and I think that's shared with a survey that came out yesterday, which indicates that YouGov for the Sun, which indicates that around 40% of Labour voters, 20% have decided they won't vote, and another 20% are wondering whether they really should vote Labour after all. So I think Bigotgate has probably damaged him quite a bit.
Okay, so taking a crystal ball, what's your prediction for the final result?
Well, that's a very difficult question. I've just alluded to 40% of voters still making up their mind in the last week, which is rather unprecedented in the last 30-odd years, I guess. It looks like the choice is either between a hung parliament and a small Conservative majority. Given that Labour's vote's probably going to be depressed as a result of Bigotgate and his relatively poorer performance, although he did a bit better last night than he's perhaps done before, but given his relatively poor performance in the three debates, given the importance of that channel now, I would predict a small Conservative majority.
We'll find out next week. Thank you very much, Paul.
Thanks a lot, Andrew.